hope you're good. I'm doing this with no AirPods, no makeup on my face. We're just here. We're just being alive. We're just being ourselves. No lighting, this is raw. This is reality. Because I am personally at the end of my program. Yesterday, I turned in my penultimate draft, we're gonna call it. It was like the draft that I turned into my graders, right? Graders like graders, not like cheese graters. Why would anyone think you meant cheese graters, Kristen? I don't know, but I cleared that up for you just in case. So right now it's at 24 pages. I've never stressed over anything this hard in my life. I basically rewrote my analysis section yesterday because I wasn't doing it right. And this process has been really useful for understanding the things that you would think that I would have understood by now, considering how many different articles that I've read. But like, I really was getting mixed up between what belongs in a lit review versus analysis, and analysis versus method. Like there were things that I was like, this is analysis, and I was like, no, this goes in my method section. I literally shut my door for 4 hours yesterday, and more than 4 hours yesterday, and literally just reorganized, rewrote passages. By the time I walked out of here, I felt like you could fry an egg on my head. Like I just could feel like steam coming off of my brain. But I did it. I turned it in. I sent it to my 2 graders, and I feel an enormous sense of relief. I don't know how much work is left to do on it. I literally feel like I've never read a paper before. I don't know what I'm talking, like, I've read so much about fantasy theme analysis. I've read so much, and then it will take me off on these little tangents about, like, my professor asked me one question. It's like about like moral logic, and I was like, yeah, what does that mean? And then I go off on this other tangent. And then I literally read like a whole book on misogyny just for it. Honestly doesn't even, like, I didn't need to read that whole book. I don't know. I'm glad I read it. Kate Mann, Down Girl, The Logic of Misogyny. Highly recommended. She goes into this detail on strangling. You know what? I'm not gonna go there. But it's a great book. You should read it. I read a lot of books that I probably didn't need to read for this, but you know, it's like there's this funneling sort of process, right? Like as you're researching, first of all, this project started months ago, right? Like in Foundations, which was the beginning of the year, it was the beginning of spring. I was like, I want to write about memes, you know? I want to write about memes, and I want to do this. Like I had this theory that memes and tarot function similarly in like the way the far right online uses memes is similar. The way that it's almost like a visual semiotics project, really, about like how meaning is packed in and then unpacked instantaneously. And the project that I, after so much evolution, ended up doing, there definitely are some similarities because they do have to do with like online cultures and how people form identities. And that is the subject of my paper, which is the way these interactions and these repetitions, these echoes, I call them symbolic cues, these little bits that get echoed. Somebody says something and everyone in the in-group knows exactly how to respond. There's no real critical thinking. It's almost like incantatory. It's almost like it's almost occult, right? And it is esoteric. But if you're in the in group, you know exactly how to respond. And if you respond the wrong way, you're going to get called out. But as these cues build up, they turn into these fantasy themes, which cluster into these fantasy types, which then coalesce. I love that word, by the way. I probably use it like 3 times my paper, and I'm like, oh my God. I love that word, but I can't help it. Into these, into this, what we call rhetorical vision. And I do this fantasy theme analysis on a subreddit, particularly one thread in a subreddit. And the subreddit is called Justice for Johnny Depp. And it's specifically a pro, Johnny Depp sort of subreddit. And it's so interesting the way that the users participate. It's really fascinating. I'm not going to go into detail. You can read my paper if I ever get it published. Maybe I'll just like put it on a blog or something. I'll probably put it on our blog or something and share it. But it is really fascinating because it's clearly, you can see people constructing, especially if you read a lot of the threads, which I did, you can see, you can even trace individual users and how they construct their identity as this like righteous truth seeker, right? Or this like, I'm the righteous truth seeker who really understands what's going on here. I'm a real survivor and she is not, or whatever. And so it has really nothing to do with what we think discourse is supposed to be about and for, which is like uncovering objective truth. It's more about building this emotional narrative where there's this meta component because the users play a role in this drama where they are the righteous citizens seeking the real truth. But there really isn't any interest in critical, objective dissection of what other people are posting. It is literally just like, who and what does this make me if I say this, right? Who am I in this story, in this in-group, this tribe? It's very tribal. So I did a fantasy theme analysis. I started with 57 screenshots, 408 comments, transcribed with AI and Evernote, and then manually semi-manually pulled out. I mean, thank God we have digital tools now. We can like search for things. But I started out with, pen and paper. I did most of this work with pen and paper. As a matter of fact, a couple weeks ago, I lost my notebook. I can't really still talk about it. I still have a little bit of PTSD, I swear to God, because there was probably a solid, I'm not exaggerating, 60 pages of notes in that notebook, and like literally whole sections right now. All my first drafts were written in it. I did this on purpose because you really do. I think that I always have written better when I write longhand, which is crazy, but I'm old. And so I started out as a writer in middle school in the early 90s, writing everything in a notebook, and it just does something in my brain. And I really wanted this paper to be good. I wanted to really internalize the subject matter. And so my notes and then my first drafts were all in this notebook, and I left it in a coffee shop, and no one turned it in. No, I did not have any, contact information in the notebook. But like, you would think someone would just give it to the manager or the owner or something like that. But they didn't. I don't know what freak is out there like reading my notes, or like, were they just like, oh, the back half of this notebook is free, so like free notebook. I don't know. I don't want to think about it, but it did happen. And so I had to, luckily at that point, it was mainly revision that had to be done. But a lot of my analysis, some of my analysis, implications, and then my notes for my methods section rewrite were in there. So that was really hard to take, but it happened. So back to what I was saying. Once I had my like hand-coded whatever, I basically were like, here are the symbolic cues that are recurring the most, and kind of group them together. Like, okay, bruise, cream, makeup, you know, these are all like bruise, cream, and makeup and concealer, and these cues are all going back to like covering up, you know, beauty, vanity, deception. So like I clustered them that way, and then I basically grouped the cues into themes, and the themes into types. And the rhetorical vision was pretty clear, right? Of like, you know, that women are deceptive, and men are often victims, but our society, you know, just hates them for whatever reason, and so we need to punish these sort of deceptive, manipulative, fraud women who are corrupting feminism and, you know, ruined the Me Too movement, which is now illegitimate, and we are the righteous truth seekers who have figured all this out, like the gist. So there's definitely this whole vision, this whole worldview that gets sort of built in this community, and it's really, really fascinating. And of course, if you go on a subreddit like Depth Delusion, which has a much lower like subscribership, but many more, thousands more active members, because in 2025 you've seen public opinion kind of, you know, reverse on Depth Be Heard. There's so much more that I could have written about this. This sort of cultural, I think, flashpoint really, where it was just a huge cultural moment. But I think there's a whole other paper or maybe book in there about the concept of the trial. Like, these people really keep repeating ad nauseum that, did you watch the trial? Did you watch the trial? And they seem to have this idea that a trial reveals truth objectively, where it obviously doesn't. And if the trial had gone another way, they would have obviously not believed that so much. But so yeah, it's a fascinating topic. I worked really hard on the paper. I have turned it in. So my next step is to get feedback from my professor and one other grader, and then make some revisions, turn it in, and be done. At this point, I'm like, I just want to be done. I know you feel me. I walk, and I'm actually speaking at commencement. I knew you were gonna be there. You know, you'll see me up there saying some words, I don't know. And I am very excited to focus on other things. I've been back in the gym. I've been back under a barbell. I missed it a lot. Trying to build my deadlift back up. For those of you who know me, deadlifting is more or less a religious experience for me. I love it so very much. And just getting a little bit of balance in my life. I've been really burning the candle at both ends for some time, the past 2 years. How long have I been in this program? I was MS marketing starting in, I think, fall of 23, I want to say, maybe spring, I think fall of 23. So I've done it'll be a full year, like 3 semesters in this program now. I did 3 semesters, 3 or 4 semesters, I think 4 in the MS marketing. And so it has been, I'm ready. It's been like 3 years of working, 2 years, 2.5, I don't know. Don't make me do math right now. But it's been a long enough time, because as some of you know, I do have a daughter, 2 stepsons, a partner, a house that I'm supposed to like keep clean. I'm supposed to feed all these people. And now I'm trying to actually like be healthy, go to the gym, like eat good food, and I don't know, just have a balanced life. We need balance, right? I'm sorry this video is so long, but I have been away for some time. It was a crazy busy time here, September and October. It has slowed down a little bit. We do have commencement coming up. I think everybody, you included, I'm sure, are ready for that Thanksgiving break, that winter break, and to come back in January, hopefully like refreshed. I don't know about you, like having kids, the holidays are usually crazy. I am being very intentional and purposeful about keeping the holidays chill. I don't want the kids to learn that the holiday is about stressing yourself out, spreading yourself too thin, spending too much money. Like, it's supposed to be about time with family and community and giving and charity and reflection and, you know, all of these positive things, and not just like, oh my God, I don't have enough money. Oh my God, did, you know, Jordan get his Jordans? Actually a thing. And yes, he was named after that Jordan. But yeah, it's that Christmas and whatever you celebrate and this whole season in our culture is not supposed to be about, and yet that's totally what it's about. The opposite thing. It's crazy. So, you know, I definitely want the kids to learn, like, that's not what it's for. And similarly, you know, work, not supposed to be losing your mind every day and being burnt out. I have gotten extremely burnt out. I was not doing well last month. I need some balance. I know that we are all ready for the end of the semester. If you are graduating, congratulations. And congratulations just for finishing the semester, for getting through. We are so close. We are almost there. Grading period starts, what, December 11th? So, like, we are so close. I'm sure you're studying for finals. You can do this. Yeah, so that's it. So I think I have 2 more of these left, I want to say, something like that. There was some talk about maybe pausing or discontinuing them, but we're gonna keep going. So I'm gonna put this on the thingy and add the thingies and get it on YouTube. As always, you can reach out to me. I think my email address is in the description box or on the newsletter, it's like everywhere. I don't know, you can find me, it's pretty easy. If you want me to talk about something regarding the MA, by the way, since we're talking about the MA, I will just mention that we are starting some new stuff. Like, we're doing an information session, just for a small group of people, but we're just kind of like testing it out, and then we're going to be opening them up. So, you know, if you're interested in one of those, drop me an email, or the program head, Dr. Kyle Hammonds, drop him an email and just like be like, hey, I'm definitely interested in coming to one of those. We'll also be sending out emails and everything, but like, I just wanted you guys to know that that's coming. So if you want to reach out, or if you just want to reach out anyway, that's cool too. Like, Dr. Hammonds or I will always be ready to like answer your questions about the program. And then we have some other stuff, but that's for another time. So, and also, if you think you would like for me to keep doing these videos after my degree is over and just talk about my experience, or talk about the MA in more general terms, and like every month or every 2 weeks, like do a topic, like how to use your tuition benefit if you're staff, or how to fast track, or how to design your major, or how to, you know, balance your working life with school or something. If you want me to keep these going, drop me a comment, send me an email, let me know. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.